Now welcome on a very special guest, as always. He is the head coach of the Texas Tech Red Raiders, Joey McGuire. Thanks so much for joining us, Coach.
Man, thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. Back in August, we actually sat right here. We talked about all the expectations that you guys had coming into this season. So I have to ask, did everything live up to expectation?
I think it did to an extent. It was funny. I just got through doing some stuff with online with fans, and the one game that I wished I could do over is the Baylor game. Just a great crowd, Pat being there, and just disappointed by the way we played. But beating Texas and OU in the same year, becoming bowl eligible, having an opportunity to get to 8 wins, it's a good start.
And you mentioned the Texas and OU in a season, just one of many accolades that you guys had this year. And you were able to do it in just your first year. Why do you think this team was able to accomplish so much in this first season for you when in years past it took a little bit more time and in some cases maybe not even at all?
I think the buy-in, the things that we believe in, we put the players first. And I think when you do that, when the players are the center of everything that you do, the decisions you make, they understand that you really care about them. And so we had buy-in a lot faster than what I thought. And then, they really each week learned how to practice harder. They learned how to, that we wanted to practice and then the pace that we wanted to play at. And I think, again, it goes back to buy-in. I mean, even going for it on 4th downs and us being so aggressive, your defense has to buy into that, and they really did.
You keep saying buy-in, and it could not be more true.
Right.
You talked so much about this year, how quickly this team was able to get a grasp of what you were looking for. Was there a specific moment this season where you kind of said to yourself, I got this team right where I want them?
I think some of the games early, especially the way we responded to adversity against Houston, being up at halftime and then going down and coming back, and all the way to, Donovan Smith throwing the first down whenever it's 4th and 20. I mean, I told him, late in the season, nobody's ever going to forget that moment whenever it really started and kicked off our season like that. And so I think early games, the way they handled adversity really showed that they were buying in.
When you look back at this year, I know you're a detail-oriented guy.
Right.
Was there anything that maybe caught you by surprise in this first season?
I thought I kind of experienced what Texas Tech, the fan base, was all about until the Texas game, and I can't stop looking at videos of the crowd and just the feeling that the team had during that game, and so it's our job to replicate that every week when we're at home. Bring an exciting brand of football to where people want to be in Jones AT&T every time we play, and so I think that's a big part of it. But I think the fan base was one that's the biggest surprise.
Of course, the fan base, and you're bringing in a whole new crew of Texas Tech Red Raiders to have in front of that fan base, just coming off a great national signing day for you guys. In years past, people have said that it's hard to recruit to West Texas.
Right.
You made it very clear on National Signing Day that no one should ever be able to say something like that ever again. How are you able to shine a light on what this area provides to some of these recruits?
Well, I think number one, getting them out here and them understanding that it's easy to get out here. I always tell everybody, if you're recruiting a Metroplex kid, there's a flight taking off every 30 minutes out of left field. So it's easy to get them here. There's a direct flight, to Austin, to Lubbock. There's a direct flight to Houston. And there's a lot of places that have recruited really well in the Big 12 that they don't have that access. And so for whatever reason, we haven't done that or used that to where we do here now with this group. And we've been able to get people in, whether it be our guys that we recruited from Louisiana or Texas kids. And the biggest thing is once they got on campus and understood what we were all about, and then what's being done facility-wise, what you can get education-wise out here at Texas Tech, man, they bought in really quick as far as, again, buy-in that they wanted to be Red Raiders.
Those are guys coming in next season. Season's
Right.
not over here at Texas Tech. Still got the TaxAct Texas Bowl coming up. You guys taking on Ole Miss. Why is this such a good matchup for you?
I think it's an exciting game because you have two teams. We're really young on offense. I mean, we have, depending on who you say your starting tailback is, you have 10 starters coming back. They're really young on offense. I mean, they have one of the best true freshman running backs in the country, maybe the best true freshman running back in the country. And so I think you're going to see A lot of times in bowls you see people opt out and stuff like that. I think in this game you're going to see two strong teams go after each other. It's always fun to play in Houston because it's a good place that we recruit. We signed a lot of Houston kids in this last recruiting class, and then the last thing, being able to play in NRG in an NFL stadium is going to be good for our fans, good for our players, and it's going to be really exciting.
Well, you mentioned how good it's going to be for the fans. Bowl season for college football seems to be a whole nother season in and of itself. And you saw last year over at the Liberty Bowl on the sideline, all the state fans that came up because Starkville's just a stone's throw away from Memphis. So when you have Texas Tech playing in a bowl game in the state of Texas, how much can fan influence affect a bowl game like that?
Oh, huge. Yeah. I mean, we should, without a doubt, have the home field advantage. I mean, I'll be shocked if we don't. I think that one, it's a great matchup. So you want to see it. Just the general fan from the state of Texas should want to see the game. But the one thing I truly believe, Red Raiders travel. They back their teams, and with us playing a bowl game in Texas, we should have the home field advantage on in the Texas Bowl.
And it's two teams that, to me at least, seem more similar than not. Like you said it yourself, two young offenses, but two teams that were also able to hang their hat on defense this year that maybe flew a little bit under the radar. When teams are as similar as they are in going into bowl games like that, how does that help, maybe you guys scope them out and see what they have to offer?
Well, the one thing, you've got both teams are tempo teams.
Yeah.
And so we've talked about that. Like, are we going to be able to impose our will tempo-wise on them, and then defensively, are we going to be able to handle their tempo? I think that's going to be a big part of the game. Of whoever does that the best is probably going to be the team that wins the bowl game. And so I do think we're a lot alike. We're probably going to throw the ball a little bit more than they do. They're going to run the ball a little bit more. But also it depends on what they're giving us of, what we're going to do. I mean, we feel good about our running backs, so if they're giving us the run, we're going to run the ball.
And another thing tying these two teams together, and really all the world of college football right now, of course, the tragic passing of head coach Mike Leach a few weeks ago. You wore the T-shirt at practice the other day, Swing Your Sword. To you, what does Swing Your Sword mean, and how do you hope to portray that mentality to your team?
I think it's I read his book whenever I was a young coach, and just somebody that comes out and believes in what they do, but takes chances. Like, just you got to be yourself, and you got to come out and I love the mentality that he had. He changed the game. There's a lot of coaches that think they do. There's a lot of egos whenever it comes to this sport. But Mike Leach changed football, and what's really good is I do believe Coach Kiffin is a good friend of his, and so I'm sure they're going to honor him. We're going to honor him with on our helmet and on our coach's sleeve, and we got a couple other things that we're going to try to do just by the style that we'll play, that I think people will take notice that we're honoring Mike Leach whenever it comes to that.
So much buzz around this team when he was a coach here, a lot more buzz now too when you're a coach around here. When people take a look at this first season for you at Texas Tech and think about this season, what do you hope their biggest takeaway is?
The way we, the way we play, the effort we play with. The one thing that I said from day one until the season started, and still, we're an effort-based program. We're going to hang our hat on how hard we play, and we're going to play every second like that. And I hope that our fan base has seen that, and they should believe that that's who we are, that's not just a one-year deal. Like, our guys come in and they understand to put on this red and black. You got to play at a high level effort-wise. It's the way we practice, the way we play, and so that's what we're going to do. No matter what offense or defense we run, we're going to be a high-effort team, and we're going to play really hard and make the Red Raiders proud.
And no doubt we can expect that come Wednesday night against Ole Miss. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time before the big game. We appreciate it as always.
All right, thank you.